I find it really interesting when I was reading some of your bio that when you were growing up and you were learning music, that there was a strong emphasis on technique and mastering of the art, and that you really wanted to break away from that and have a creative freedom with creating your music. And I find it interesting now, kind of going into the robotic musicianship when it's all coming from code. And but it is really interesting how technology is creating these robots in such a way that they learn. So
Right.
what do you think about just like the emotion behind the music that's coming from these robots?
So people, when they think about robotic music, the the gut feeling is that that's bad. Like robots are
Yeah.
actually, they don't have emotions and they're going to kill us. So robotic music is something that is the opposite of what we look for in music, which is the expression and the emotion and creativity. But I'm here to turn it on its ear and say exactly that using code and using technology, and this quote that you saw was based on my grad work. I built all kind of instruments such as a beat bag that you can create music by banging on them and bending their ears, and for kids mostly. Uh, and the algorithm took the gestures from the kids, adults can also play with it, and made it into music that was meaningful, that made sense. Not into music that sounds good,
Hmm.
only sounds good because that's kind of boring after a while. But music that you don't really have to know how to take a particular dissonance and resolve it, and how to end a fermata. You just feel what you feel, and then with gesture of bending and squeezing and pulling and throwing, you could throw your music back and forth. Uh, you do your emotional thing, your creative and expressive gestures, and the software take care of it and make music that you would like to listen to. So that was, I think, the context for this quote, where I don't think you really need to spend years and years on just putting your fingers correctly on a piano before you are allowed to be creative. You should be able to immediately get an instrument that will be smart enough, if it's based on some code, to sense you, to get you, and allow you to create something creative without mastery of technique. And of course, technique should come later. We all appreciate virtuoso and people with techniques, but it doesn't have to be a block, because many kids just start, they don't pass the block of or the gate of getting the mastery technically, and then they don't pursue music at all.
Hmm.
And today with robots, I think there's some similar. It's a different line of research, but there's some similarities where robots that we develop here in the group try to capture the essence of music. So they don't just know that this is C, C sharp. They
Hmm.
try to see what is the level of dissonance, what is the level of stability, and try to look for high level percepts and actually respond to you on the high level of music, not necessarily the low level. And hopefully
Hmm.
this will create something that will push you to different directions.
I find that it really parallels well with murmuration, which they say in nature is a flock of starlings that produces intricate patterns during flight. And
Right.
it really is interesting to me that there's this you can find such freedom in something so confined as code,
Yeah, that's a good metaphor.
and it's
Uh,
really beautiful, I think.
uh, Another thing that is interesting in memorization and some flocking behaviors is that you follow your own simple rule, and a big structure emerges, whether you're aware of it or not. There's a lot of algorithmic effort to imitate flocking, where
Hmm.
even the game of life, I don't know if you know the game of life, you have cells, you have a grid, you have cellular automata, and every grid turn either black or white based on how many cells are next to it. And that's the only thing it does. That's the only thing it knows. If I have more than three cells black to me, I'm black. If there are less, I'm white. But this can create huge, emerging, beautiful patterns, uh,
Hmm.
just like the Borg. If you're a Star Trek fan, you there's something in numbers and something in following the rule, but having some kind of a large structure that emerges. And a lot of the algorithm we try to program into the robots follow similar ideas.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so, what do you see moving forward in your field? Where are you in 10 years? What robot's being made that's totally replacing my favorite band, Widespread Panic?
Yeah. You don't want to replace them.
No, I do not. But
so we stopped with Shimon. Then we had a small Shimmy, which was an effort to commercialize it. It's a small robot that also use gestures. But the latest two projects, actually three at this point, that I'm most excited about, and they may lead to answering your question about the future, is actually embedding robotics into the human body. I don't know if you checked the amputee drummer and then the third arm, and now we're working on actually an arm that will allow amputees to play piano. So we're using deep learning on the muscle just here, because that's what he has, and there's enough data there if we use sophisticated data to understand each finger movement. And it's not working yet, and don't tell anyone. Maybe a video of the beginning of this for Sunday, but probably not. But the idea of pattern recognition using machine learning and recently deep learning can actually enhance us humans, whether we're disabled or just we can become extra able. Like Jason Barnes became extra able. He can play much faster, more sophisticated, and I'm looking really hard into cyborgs and into anything from just hardware that attach to your body and looking at brain signals. I don't know if you saw that clip. We're trying to understand what you think when you play, and maybe try to have other limbs and other maybe robots that are not connected to you to respond to your mind. This is, I think, where there's a lot of white space to explore, and I can't wait to see how maybe your band members are augmenting themselves, so you still have them, but they are actually trying to create something new by anything from brain enhancement to body enhancement to anywhere in between.
Yes, it's really going to be fascinating to see where the field moves. And with that, what can the attendees for Murmuration expect from your talk?
I hope that they will have new ideas. They will hear new ideas that will make them think, and I will also present a critical view on all of this. People talking about. If you look at the comments on the videos that we have, Skynet at some point always comes in some of the comments, and people are concerned: will robots ruin music? And can we have robots that actually have free will and consciousness and creative in ways that will hurt us humans and will hurt our music? So I'm going to present some of this idea as well and try to answer them. I'm obviously an optimist, otherwise I wouldn't be doing that. So I think they can expect to see some cool stuff that they probably didn't see before, but even more than that, to think about some interesting ideas that hopefully they didn't think about before, about where this future is going to.